Well, welcome to Hamilton County Newsmakers. I'm Perry Williams, and I haven't been here for about 3 weeks. And my guest today is Dr. Beth Niedermeyer of Noblesville Schools. Welcome, Beth.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, I know that a couple weeks ago, I guess it was, that you did the State of the Schools at Purgatory for the Chamber.
Yes.
So I want to talk a little bit about that because I was not able to attend because I was gone, but I have listened on Periscope a couple times and on Facebook yesterday and again this morning. So I want to talk a little bit about that and some of the things that you talk about. I want to mention one thing that one of the things that I know when you took over, you and I had many discussions early on about relationships and the relationships both internally and externally. I think you've done a wonderful job with. I mean, talking to the people and making Joe Q Public understand the difference of what's going on in school. So let's talk a little bit about some of those things as you talk, because there are some very interesting topics and some interesting things for the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree. I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed is the monthly table talks with the community. That's been a really great way to get to know people and also for them to bring concerns and questions that they have about Noblesville schools. I've really enjoyed that. And then with all of our committee work, for example, we just recently did our rebalancing, and the committee representation that we had, a parent from every school there, and then going out to the public and talking to the public, asking, answering their questions and addressing any concerns that they had. I think the more open we are, the more transparent, and the more that we bring in parents and the community into our schools, the deeper understanding that people have.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100%, because if you have community and parent buy-in, you're very successful in some of the things that you have going on. What about some of the, one of the things with you're still having some pretty good growth. I think you grew again 200 students. So let's talk a little bit about that and talk a little bit about that breakdown, because in one of our Miller Ambassador classes, we talked about that, and it's amazing, our special needs young people and our gifted students, and amazing that breakdown, and also for our diversity on the languages we have.
Isn't that
I had
amazing?
No clue. So let's talk.
Thinking that we have 10,400 students now, we continue to grow. We did grow about 200 students, and what we're seeing though is the growth. Our kindergarten classes are a little bit smaller, the incoming kindergarten classes, than some of the other grades that we have. So as those grade levels articulate through the system, then we're seeing some growth primarily in the middle and high school range significantly. So we had to add some staff to the high school this year because their incoming freshman class is 200 students larger than their outgoing senior class. So that makes a difference. And then in terms of our population, we have 23% free and reduced lunch. We have 23% of our population who are high ability, and we have 55 different languages spoken in our school, home languages spoken in our students' homes. And so with the top languages after English being Spanish, Punjabi, Vietnamese, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. And that's amazing. So that has brought some interesting challenges in terms of finding interpreters so that when our parents come to our school events and parent conferences, that we can communicate with them about their children. So that's something that's really been a priority for us.
And you and I growing up and everything, was not a problem in schools back when we attended school. So that's kind of a ever-involving thing that is just not popped up, but it's just growing at leaps and bounds.
It has, and it's an exciting opportunity for our students in Noblesville schools to learn about different cultures and learn about different places in the world, and it makes sense because our society is becoming a more global society. So our schools are no different.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, of course, great bragging rights on 95% of our students graduate, and 43% are on honor diplomas. So those are big numbers that sets us very, very high. And
well, and I think too, when you look at the number of dual credits that our high school seniors or high school students take, over 3,000, pushing 4,000 credits, that equates to $1 million that their parents are saving in college tuition. What a great thing that our students are taking advantage of those opportunities afforded to them at the high school.
Yeah, absolutely. And along with, Noblesville has one of the top intern programs, and that's been a huge, we've really enjoyed it here. And Jim and I all the time follow things on Facebook, and a Noblesville student, Lydia Knoll, does a lot of work at Indiana University in athletics, and she did halftime interviews for us, and she was quite amazing even as a high school student, because when she came and did the interviews for us, the first time she had this big long list of questions, and Jim says, "So you're going to ask these questions?" She goes, "No, I haven't memorized." So, and it was just tremendous interviews of students talking to students, and that's.
Well, I'm so impressed with the students that we have. And when you think about what makes Noblesville community so special, is that we have over 80 businesses that want to participate in our high school student intern program. So our kids are getting experiences, real world experiences, that help them decide if those are the career paths that they want to go down or not. Either way, it's a real benefit to our students and a benefit to the community. And some of those kids get hired back for summer jobs, and sometimes after some college work or some coursework, they get hired back into the Noblesville community. So it's kind of nice to have those opportunities and keep some of our students here in the community.
Absolutely, and it helps, like you said, after they attend college and everything, that maybe their choice is to come back to Noblesville and to raise a family and to be a part of this community, which is your ultimate goal, okay, is what you want to accomplish here, because there's nothing more rewarding than to see your students being successful in your own community. And that happens a lot here.
Yes.
I mean, we're very, very blessed for that type of thing. Now let's talk a little bit about something, because one thing that I guess the program's probably 2-3 years old, but we talk a lot about the Miller shift. So kind of explain to our audience out there a little bit about the Miller shift and what's its purpose.
Well, we've addressed it a little bit. As the world continues to change, so are the needs in the workforce, so are the needs of our students, and so schooling can't stay the same. And I think that's one thing that I really want to impress upon the community, because we all went to school and we all know what it looked like when we attended school, but the world is changing. The job demands are different today, so the schools have to adapt to make sure that we're producing students who have skills that will be successful in the workforce. So the Miller shift is about that change. It's about making sure that we are preparing students for the future needs and giving them the kinds of skills that they're going to need to be successful. So it's not just memorization of facts anymore. It's really taking in information and processing and synthesizing and being able to problem solve. Those are the kinds of skills that workers and employers need today. So I think that as we do less of memorization, more hands-on, more real-world experiences, the classrooms look very different. And you probably got a good example of that when you came to the Learning Showcase, where we really highlighted all the different kinds of learning, from Project Lead the Way, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics emphasis that we place in our K-12 classrooms. Those are the kinds of things that really prepare kids for the world that they're going to enter when they leave our doors.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that we're very, very blessed with. And, me being very close to the athletic department at Noblesville, the one thing that I love about our coaches is they're preparing these young people for life. Okay, it's not about football. It's not about basketball. About baseball. There are life learning situations every day. Those kids are learning and enjoying it because it's part of sports.
Well, and look at our athletes.
Yeah,
they have a 3.38 combined GPA. Yeah. That's really great for our student athletes. So they know that they take school very seriously, and athletics provide a wonderful, well-rounding experience for them. So we're proud of all of our student athletes.
You know, and the one thing about it, whether you're in band or whatever kind of extracurricular activities you participate in, you know, data shows that those students that are involved in more extracurricular activities, whether it's sports, band, or whatever, are actually better students because they have to be much more organized.
Oh my gosh, yes. And we have so many opportunities for students to participate in extracurricular activities. You know, from the music, the arts, speech and debate. There's just lots of opportunities that our students can engage in, and they do participate in those. And it does impact their success in the classroom and beyond.
Yeah, because I know that not too long ago in the paper there was a lot of information, and of course there are many awards that we've received outside of athletics at Noblesville, but our DECA program which is an old, I mean, DECA was around even when I was in school. So, you know, that's an old program, and we're very successful in that and did very well this year in the state.
Yes, we did. We've had lots of accomplishments. We've received the Indiana Innovation Award, the State Counselor of the Year Award, State Jazz Educator of the Year Award. We had, as you mentioned, the DECA State Champions, Jazz Band, top in state, state placements for our Noblesville High School Choir. I mean, just great things going on. The National High School Journalism Award, Unified Track and Field, we were second in the state. The speech team, national debate, they did a wonderful job. Scholastic Art and Writing State Honors. So the list goes on. We're really proud of the accomplishments.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really been a great year so far.
It has been.
We still got a few months to go here, but
we're just picking up steam right now.
Yeah, we're just picking up steam. So it's really, really great to have all those things for our students to do. And you know, the one thing that I guess in the Miller Ambassador program, which Marty and I'll do a show here in probably a couple 3 weeks talking a little bit about that.
She's done a great job with that
but has
program.
done a wonderful job. And the one thing about it, we're always talking about kids today about, you know, it's so important to get exercise and different things like that. You know, sitting in the classroom not longer than an hour, and you know, all those studies about even people like you that are sitting behind the desk and need to get up, need the movement and everything. And probably one of the impressive things I saw was Brian Clark's class in fitness there, and 750 kids participated.
He does such a great job.
What a motivator!
We're so fortunate to have him on our team.
Yeah. We're blessed to have him.
We are,
and the things he does, and with all the coaches. I mean, they're all very, very supportive. Just like in your band, the things that those people have done there, your choirs. I mean, it's just great to go to different civic groups and hear these kids perform and go to chamber meetings. I mean, I always looked forward to Christmas time when the group comes and sings. And
they're incredibly talented.
And talented.
Well, and you mentioned the importance of movement, and I think outside of athletics and all the after-school curricular activities, our teachers really build in that movement in the school day, and that's part of the Miller shift, because we know about how the brain processes information, and as you mentioned, we need movement. So they build in at the elementary level what they call brain breaks, because they know that students can think and process more deeply and function at a higher cognitive level when they get up and move around. So when you walk into our classrooms today, you will see students sitting on balls so that they can work on their core while they're sitting and studying, but also lots of activities, so they're not sitting in straight rows like we did when we were in school, and you sat until you had lunch. They're getting up and moving around. They're working in partners, with partners. They're working in small groups, collaborating and participating in activities that will help them learn how to work together, because that's how very few of us work in isolation in the workforce today. So even at the elementary level, we're preparing those kids for the future workforce in Noblesville school, or in the Noblesville community, which is very exciting.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the exciting thing that when I go into high school during the school days is so much different than when I went to school is when you seen a student in the hall, he was in trouble in my generation. Okay? He was out there being punished because he couldn't be good in the classroom, okay? But today, I would say we do a great job of utilizing all our space in and outside the classroom, because you'll see groups practicing their play parts out in the hall.
That's right.
Or you'll see students in groups doing study groups, okay, and different things like that. And, they're really working hard at it.
They are.
They have a responsibility
seriously.
and a very competitive spirit, and it shows in our school.
I think the thing that's so enjoyable to me, to get out into classrooms, and just the 2 weeks before spring break, I was in about 60 classrooms. I am so impressed with our students. I am so impressed with their interest, their focus, their curiosity, and how hard they work from all levels, from elementary, middle, and high school. So I think that they're taking advantage of great opportunities, and they inspire us as educators. They inspire us every day. What a great place to be.
Oh, absolutely. One thing, too, Dr. Niedermeyer, that you really didn't talk about much in your state of the schools, but one thing that's very important is all our schools. I mean, there's 10 buildings that you have, okay, and 2 million square feet. Okay, as you made comments in there about your custodial groups, how would you like to try to keep up with 2 million square feet and 10,000 students coming in and out of your school? I mean, they're an amazing group. But the other thing too is, no longer is the schools open start at 8 and close at 4. You're utilizing, not only for sporting events, but for many things, all your multi-purpose areas that you have, your gymnasium, your new field house at the other end, I call it. I'm not sure what, but are used by all ages, and till 9, 10 o'clock at night. And of course,
there is rarely a day or a weekend that goes by that our school's facilities aren't being used. The evenings and the weekends, thousands and thousands of hours over and above school time hours and school-related activities, which I think is a wonderful opportunity for our community to be able to utilize the buildings that were built and paid for by taxpayers to use them after school hours. And so it's great that we have so many people in the community that take advantage of using those spaces. We love it. But yeah, it's a huge challenge for our custodial group.
Oh, absolutely.
But they take pride in our buildings, and if you look at our buildings, we have lots of people come and visit. We had over 60 different school districts come and visit our buildings to learn about what the Miller shift is in Noblesville, our instructional practices, but the comments that they make about the physical space too, that they can't believe some of our buildings are as old as what they are because they don't look it, because our custodian and maintenance crews do such a great job maintaining the facilities. So we're so fortunate.
And the one thing about it, you talk about your very good stewards of the people you have employed there. I mean, your maintenance staff, how big is that? I mean, we
have 79 custodians, and they work 3 shifts at the middle schools and the high school.
And the maintenance, you have very few maintenance people to keep up they can do anything.
Oh my gosh, we have a very skilled team, and I believe there's like 8.
Yeah, I knew there was. I knew it was less than 10.
But they are such skilled craftsmen, and they have such a breadth of expertise. There's nothing that these guys can't do, and they are innovators. We talk so much about innovation in our schools, in the classrooms, but these guys are innovators of how to save money, how to take problems problems and to solve them in the least expensive way possible.
Absolutely.
And we can show you example after example in our district. So that team of workers, I'm so impressed with what they do, and we're so grateful to have them.
Yeah. Now let's switch gears a little bit, because I don't want to forget about the workforce development and all the things that are happening there, and the big talk and a lot of things about maybe having a Hamilton County Career Center and those type things. This is becoming a huge part of this county in all the schools, because one thing that I don't think that people realize is how much communication you have with other superintendents in Hamilton County and in the state, but especially Hamilton County superintendents work very, very closely together.
We do. We meet on a regular basis, and the Hamilton County superintendents have the vision of how we can create new opportunities for our students here in Hamilton County. And we've been so fortunate to work with Commissioner Steve Braun with Workforce Development in Indiana, housed in Indianapolis, and he has really started this collaboration with us to develop an innovation network initiative. So they're collecting data on high value, high wage, high demand jobs in Hamilton County. And then we're working with Ivy Tech, which is a great partner in Hamilton County, to focus on 4 key areas that there's high demand jobs in Hamilton County, and then create courses for our students to take that they can get credit for at Ivy Tech, and then eventually, and that will all start in 2018, and once we maximize the space at Ivy Tech, then we will look at building a facility for some of the types of trainings that require larger spaces in terms of construction or mechanical, those kinds of things. So it's really happening, and I know it's been a dream in Hamilton County for many, many years, and we've got all the right people working together to make that happen.
Yeah, and I think, the one thing that we did a couple of years ago when the county, the city, and the schools all put that puzzle together and made Ivy Tech happen, because that has been
absolutely
the missing piece for education for Hamilton County, which,
what a great
I think we've only
collaboration.
scratched the surface of the opportunities we could have, and the approach that Ivy Tech has taken as a partnership is even with our Noblesville parks, with our schools. I mean, they've just basically opened the doors, and I think that a great move by Ivy Tech of hiring Sue Elsterman to head up, because she understands the political side, the tough side that you have to make sure that people are listening to get funding and everything, and she's going to be able to do that now, and I think that the Ivy Tech program in Hamilton County is going to be a fabulous marriage together.
I do too. We're so excited. Ivy Tech is by our side in every initiative that we dream about, so we're so grateful to have them on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple things that you mentioned also were, some of the things that you got coming up that are here in the near future. Talk about that transportation center, because I am one that toured the transportation center, and we need a new one. I can tell you that. Tax dollars will be well spent getting a new transport, and it's amazing that staff out there can get done what they do in transporting all these students where they need to go. It's just amazing.
It is amazing. And when you think about, the Transportation Center has been a topic at Noblesville schools for about 10 years. And as the buses have gotten larger and longer, we've outgrown the mechanical bays for the mechanics to work on the buses. So they have tight little spaces. They can't get their equipment in there. And you've seen the facility itself. It's about as big as this room, and we have 105 bus drivers. And can you imagine 105 people in this studio? So it's time. And it was great that Marnie had planned for the Miller ambassadors to get you guys out there so you could see it and see the current facility and why there's such a need. And really, it's been a great endeavor with building it right next to West Middle School. We do not have enough parking for evening events at West Middle School. So to combine parking lots, so in the daytime, bus drivers can park there, and in the evening, parents can park there for events. It's just a really great way to combine spaces and maximize our tax dollars. So we're thrilled about that. It's planning to open during fall break in October. So that's going to be a great thing for Noblesville schools.
Absolutely. And let's talk another subject too, the Miller Explorers, because I think that's going to be a fantastic program.
We are so excited. The Miller Explorers is going to take over our before and after school daycare, and we'll start in December. For the holiday break is when we will first open our doors and be in charge of it. And we just think it's a wonderful way to create, to extend the great things that we have going on in our school during the school day to after and before and after school hours. It will make a seamless transition, and all of the great things that we've got going on in the classrooms, we can enhance even more if it's under our umbrella. So we've got lots of great ideas, and we've hired Angie Gingrich, who is one of our instructional coaches. She's going to be heading up the whole initiative, and we're really working closely. We've already had meetings with the Noblesville Parks Department. We want to really bring in the community for these after-school events. I met yesterday with the Boy Scout group, so I'm really excited about how we can collaborate with all of these organizations and create great opportunities for our students, but also make it more convenient for our parents.
Oh, absolutely. And I know that our good friends Dr. Mundy and Dr. Arrowwood use that program in their areas to get better teachers. I mean, because they'll want to come because they know that their children will have a place to go.
That's right. A quality
after school, and they can put more time in the classroom, and
that's exactly right,
to get everything ready. So it's a win-win for everybody.
We're so excited. So the next 6 months, we're going to be creating and planning, and we're going to kick it off with a bang in December of 17.
Yeah, and and what, like you mentioned earlier, the challenges of the alternative programs that not everyone, unfortunately, not everyone fits in a classroom setting. So, but you still have to meet the needs of those young people.
That's what I love about public schools. We educate all children, and even the most difficult or the ones that have the biggest challenges. We love what we do, and we take it very seriously. So with an alternative program, I think you have to look at the needs of kids and the ones who are struggling. How can we help serve those kids well? Because we have an opportunity to turn things around for them. And this alternative program, I think, will help with that. So we're really excited about, again, creating our own program because we know our kids better than anyone.
Yeah. And then on the other side, the innovation program that gives, I've said through some talks and things of students and some of the innovative students in our school, and to be quite honest, I come out of there shaking my head because I'm not nearly as smart as I think I am. These kids are brilliant.
They are.
I mean, they are. They're on a way other level than many students, and we have to take care of them too.
We do.
Because we're going to gain big time dividends from those kids.
Absolutely. And that's on our dream list to create an innovation center when we work on the multi-purpose facility and create private funds, develop some private funding options for that. So I think that's a really great opportunity for our students to have a space that they can collaborate with local businesses who need business challenges solved. Our innovations class can be the impetus for solving those problems.
Absolutely. Well, we kind of run out of time here because Jim's already stopped the clock. But he never lets it go to zero, okay? He always stops it. When he knows I'm not going to finish up in time, he just stops it. But I appreciate it. It was a great conversation. I think we got a lot of information out there that we can share with our community, and I appreciate the hard work that you and your staff are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Perry, for having me.
Thank you. So I'll see you next week, and a couple of weeks from now we'll have Marty Cook on here, and we'll be talking about Miller Ambassadors.